Hello everybody and welcome to my first Destiny 2 build video. I literally had to dust off my microphone to make this video. It has been over a year since I spoke in my video. I changed the format of my videos a long time ago. I just been keeping them simple, awesome gameplay, badass graphics, really good sound, me not talking, no intro, no outro, etc, etc. Also in that time, I have not made any build videos. So obviously presenting a build to you, it's a lot easier if I just speak in the video. If you have been a long-time subscriber of my channel, way back in the day when I used to speak in my videos, hello again. And if you are new to my channel, welcome and thank you for joining. This will be my first Destiny 2 build video. I'm going to have a lot more here in the future. I recently left Lost Ark for Destiny 2. In that short amount of time, I have put in almost 500 hours in this game. I do plan on playing as a Warlock through the rest of Season 18, but I definitely will be also dipping into the other two classes, Titan and Hunter. Looks like I'm leaning towards Titan for my next class, but in the meantime, I'm having a blast playing as Warlock. I absolutely love it. I'm having a lot of fun, but I definitely want to broaden my horizons with Destiny 2. Want to get a taste for all three classes. Alright, for my first build video, we are going to do my favorite subclass. That is going to be Stasis. Now, as a new player for Destiny 2, I've looked in the past, they have made tons of changes to the subclasses. And Stasis is no exception. Reading through Reddit, forums, and watching YouTube videos, it seems over time they've really nerfed it, really kind of tweaked it, so it's not so OP as it used to be. You know, throwing out 6 to 10 turrets. Solo and Grandmaster, just basically blowing through all the quote-unquote endgame hard content. So that being said, despite all the changes, the nerfs, and everything that has happened to Stasis since it's been introduced in Destiny 2, that does not mean here in Season 18 that we cannot make it strong and viable for endgame content. Alright, what I'm going to do here is I am going to show you the build, then I'm going to hop off the mic. The rest of the video will just be gameplay of me in Master Wellspring. I will have timestamps below. They should be automatically put in the video by YouTube. We'll have the intro, we'll have the build, and then we'll have the gameplay of the Master Wellspring. So let's get into the build. Alright, for all of my builds and all my subclasses, no matter what, I always shoot for 100 resilience. This is going to give you a 40% damage reduction, which is huge, 40%. So you always want to shoot for 100. You can't put out damage, you can't make it through the content if you're dead. So definitely, you want to survive, you want to be able to go through it. Now I did say in the title, this isn't an Immortal Stasis turret build. 100 resilience is just our base. I'm going to show you with the weapons and through the Stasis subclass itself, how we're going to make that even better. Alright, let's start off with our abilities. Now, when I did first start playing Destiny 2, I did use the Empowering Rift most of the time to put out more damage. Since then, I'd say in about the past month, the Healing Rift for my class ability, I always take it. It bails me out so many times, not only in PvE, but also in PvP. But all around, Healing Rift, I take it no matter what. So when it comes to movement ability, it comes down to personal preference. I personally like Strafe Glide. In Destiny 2, as you know, there are a lot of jumping puzzles. The strong directional control that this gives you mid-air, I love it. I always take it with me. Alright, currently for Warlock Stasis, they only have one melee ability, and that is the Penumbral Blast, so we are using that. And for my grenade, we do the Cold Snap grenade. We do that specifically for the Ozymandias exotic gloves that we have. That is going to give us 2 charges of the Cold Snap grenade. Okay, moving right along, let's get into the 2 aspects. First is going to be the Glacial Harvest. This is going to be freezing targets, create stasis shards around the frozen targets. Higher tier combatants create more shards. Alright, I'm recording this on September 26th. That is a Monday. 2 days ago on Saturday, Ada finally sold the mod I have been waiting for since I started playing this game. That is called Elemental Shards. We'll get into that when I show you my gear. Bottom line, it treats shards as wells. So huge. I was playing Stasis subclass before picking up that mod. It was fun. I was doing pretty good, but that really defines this build. It makes this build. Obviously the exotic gloves do, but when you throw that mod in with it, in my opinion, you're gonna get the most potential. You're gonna get the most out of this build. It is just, you'll see what I mean and when you watch the gameplay. So that is Glacial Harvest. Alright, the second of our two aspects is going to be Bleak Watcher, aka our turret. You press and hold the grenade button to convert your grenade into a stasis turret that fires slowing projectiles at nearby targets. You can see on the right description there, as you fire more and more at the target, depending on if it's just a low tier enemy or a higher tier, it can take longer to freeze them. I've noticed bosses, you don't completely freeze them, but you do significantly slow them down. Now in this gameplay of the Master Wellspring, I can consistently get up to about 3 turrets. Sometimes I can hit 4, but consistently 3. I'm very happy with that. On some situations when you have a lot of low tier mobs around you and different events around the open world, I can usually get up to 4 or 5 pretty easily. But when it comes to the harder content, it seems that I can usually maintain about 3 pretty consistently. Alright, next let's move on to our fragments. Any Warlock, I know you can agree with me, compared to Arc, Void, and Solar, getting the fragments for the Stasis subclass has been a pain in the ass. I can only get 2 per week, and they make you do quite a bit to get these 2. Anyhow, I've pretty much gotten the ones that I want. I'm still going to fill it out and get all of them, but to complete this build, it took me a while because at first I didn't know what I was doing. I was collecting fragments that I didn't really need. But anyhow, after playing around, watching videos, reading guides, and seeing what works for me, these are the 4 that I really like. There are others that you could replace with this. You can kind of, mix and match and see what works best for you. But this, me personally, is what I like to take, and I'll explain why. Alright, first one is Whisper of Hedrons. So you can see here it dramatically increases weapon stability, weapon aim assist, weapon airborne effectiveness, mobility, resilience, and recovery after freezing a target with stasis. All of those are awesome. What I really like about it is the resilience and the recovery. That is going to help us stay alive, especially in this hard content. Now, if you go to the description of my video, I will leave a link to a Google spreadsheet. This is where I'm getting my numbers that I'm going to state in this video, so I'm not just pulling numbers out of my ass, but this will let you know what these do. And this is a great reference, a great tool, especially if you are a new player, a newer player like myself, or a returning player who just maybe forgot some things or needs to brush up on your knowledge of the game. But basically, this spreadsheet is going to break down every subclass, all the weapon mods, armor mods, class mods, subclass mods, everything, so you know exactly what everything does. The only thing I don't like, well, there's a few things I don't like about Destiny 2. I'm just nitpicking here, but basically it says dramatically increases. Well, they don't give you any numbers. I'm a numbers guy. I want to know exactly how much, how much effectiveness, how much mobility, how much resilience, etc. Anyways, this Destiny data compendium. Anyways, this Google spreadsheet link is going to break it all down for you. So we can see here that the Whisper of Hedrons, this is going to boost all those stats for 11 seconds. That is a long time, especially when you're in some endgame content and fighting. 11 seconds is a long time. So anyways, it's going to be plus 60 mobility, plus 60 resilience, plus 60 recovery. Now it says plus 30 question mark stability. So it looks like through their testing, they're not quite sure, or maybe going through the game files. I don't know how they get these numbers, but from the community on Reddit, the Destiny 2 subreddit, it seems like this is pretty much the Bible to go to when it comes for information like this. And then you can see the plus 20 for airborne effectiveness, but you can see there, plus 60 mobility, plus 60 resilience, plus 60 recovery. I mean, that's huge. So that's why I go with that. Next, I go with Whisper of Rhyme. Collecting a stasis shard grants a small amount of overshield, which falls off after 10 seconds. Collecting additional shards adds to the overshield and refreshes the timer. So in endgame content, as I said, with this build, I'm able to consistently have about 3 turrets up at all times. They are constantly freezing enemies. And when they freeze an enemy, those shards are created around the enemy. When we collect those shards, it's treated as wells for us. So not only are we getting the well benefits, but we're also, with Whisper of Rhyme, this fragment right here, we are also getting the overshield. So we have our health bar, which is white. You're going to see here how it's going to add a blue on top of it, and that is going to give you the overshield. So definitely survivability, way OP, and when you're constantly freezing and having those turrets shoot out at the enemies, you're going to have stasis shards everywhere coming at you, and the big thing here is it refreshes the timer each time you collect shards, so way awesome. Next, we have Whisper of Durance. Slow from your abilities last longer. For those abilities that linger, their duration will also increase. So this is very important. This is going to keep our turrets up longer, and it's also, when we do freeze and slow down the enemies, it is going to increase the amount of time that it affects the enemies that we are freezing or inflicting with our turrets. Alright, and the last stasis fragment is Whisper of Conduction. Nearby stasis shards track to your position. With this build, just remember when I say stasis shards, that's going to be Overshield and our wells. This build is all about the shards. I really like the 2 buffs, plus 10 resilience, plus 10 intellect. Very nice, but especially in endgame content, when we take down an enemy or freeze them, we create those shards. It's nice to have them come to us so we don't have to run out of cover, make ourselves very vulnerable. So this will help us keep at a safe spot where we have been fighting from, and the shards will come to us. So a lot of benefits from this last one. Alright, I'm going to briefly touch on weapons because it really depends on what you enjoy using, and also what is viable for the content you are doing. Do you need overload? Do you need anti-barrier? You know, it really depends on the champions and stuff you will be fighting. So for example, for this week, you need a anti-barrier and you need an overload. So that's why I'm taking a bow and I'm taking my auto rifle. All right, the first weapon we're going to go over is the kinetic, my auto rifle. This is called Duty Bound. If I remember right, I think I got this off the Saber Nightfall. I might be mistaken. But anyways, 600 rounds per minute. Anything less, I don't really care for. Since I've been playing in Destiny 2, I don't like anything less than 600. This feels really good shooting at 600. But most importantly, the reason why I love this is going to be the perks. First one is going to be Frenzy. Being in combat for an extended time increases damage, handling, and reload for this weapon until you're out of combat. Alright, according to the spreadsheet, being in combat, in quotations, is defined as having either dealt or received damage within 5 seconds. After being in combat for 12 seconds, we get a 15% increase in damage, plus 50 handling, and plus 50 reload speed. This lasts until you are out of combat. Alright, the last perk I want to show you is Stunning Recovery. Stunning a champion partially refills your magazine, triggers health regeneration, and improves recovery for a short duration. So I think you can kind of see why I call this the Immortal build. I mean, we have our overshield, you'll see with the gear, everything like that. All of the aspects on the subclass. We're getting all these ways to survive and to take damage. This is just another perk thrown into the mix that is going to help us survive even more and stay up and keep fighting. So absolutely love this gun. By far my favorite auto rifle. Alrighty, and my energy weapon slot, I have my favorite bow, hands down, in the game. If you've watched any of my previous Destiny 2 videos, I always have this bow with me when I need a bow. I absolutely love it. I'm not going to try and pronounce it.
And today we're talking about this bad boy, Le Monarque, the brand new exotic bow in black.
No. Le Monarque.
It's got that perk Poison Arrows, fires poison arrows on a full draw and quick release, strong against overload champions. What I really like about it is the initial shot, it does create that damage, but you also get the lingering poison effect, and if there are enemies in the close vicinity, they will also be poisoned. So this is great for spreading damage and doing damage over time. Alright, let's get to my power weapon, the sword, the Fallen, good lord, Guillotine. Anyways, I got this from the Dares of Eternity. Got it dropped, I think, about 2 weeks ago. I absolutely love this sword. You'll see in my gameplay, this thing is freaking badass. I mean, not only does it look beautiful and glow and just look awesome, but it has a couple perks on it that I just think are awesome, and it really works great for endgame content. First one, the first perk is Tireless Blade. Sword ammo granted for every other powered sword kill. So definitely when you're clearing through mobs and out in the world, even in endgame content, every other kill, you're going to get ammo put in there. You'll hear the cue in game. It sounds like you're reloading a gun. So I like that little cue. It lets you know, hey, you got some ammo back. Alright, and the last perk is Whirlwind Blade. Rapid sword strikes increases weapons damage for a short duration. Guarding also ends the effect. I'm showing on screen right now the attack. It's just, I mean, look at it. It's so cool, so badass. I love it. Not only does it look badass, but it's also very devastating. Puts out a lot of damage. Alright guys, let's move on to the gear. Alright, let's start off with the most important gear piece, and that is the exotic Osmiomancy gloves. Now, when I first started playing Destiny 2, I did not have these gloves. I used Eye of Another World. That is going to work great as well. The reason why I love these gloves is it gives you the 2 charges. Basically, it gives you 2 turrets to run when you have both charges full on your gloves. I actually got these to drop from a Lost Sector. If you do not know about Lost Sectors, they rotate weekly. 1 week you'll have like these, the gauntlets. You'll have a pool. I think Warlock, there's 2 or 3 that you'll might be able to get to drop. You also have like the boots and you know, the helmet. Anyways, I do master like 1 time. Just I like the challenge. I want to get that triumph unlocked. Anyways, when I'm if I do not get the exotic that I want, I switch down to legendary. It's quicker, it's easier. I can farm it quickly. And actually, I got these to drop from a legendary. And as I said earlier in the video, this is oh, Ada, she finally sold the elemental shards, the mod I've been waiting for. Stasis shards count as stasis elemental wells for you. It doesn't apply to Crucible, Trials, or Iron Banner. We are not taking this in PvP content. Well, you can. But anyways, this build obviously is for endgame PvE content. This is absolutely huge. So going back to my Stasis subclass aspects and everything that I show you, when we collect those shards, those are going to be counted as wells. So for those who are like me, who are still kind of learning the jargon and how everything is worded and what everything means in this game, just to remind you or to teach you, picking up an elemental well grants energy to your ability with the lowest current energy. But what's huge here is we're picking up stasis wells. So that is the second part, picking up an elemental well whose element matches your subclass, which in our situation it does. It grants energy to all of your abilities. So that is absolutely huge. So our melee, our super, and most importantly, our discipline / grenade / turrets. So it's going to make our turrets come back quicker. And we, when we are putting out up to 3 turrets at a time, we are constantly freezing and creating shards. We're getting well after well after well. Absolutely huge. All right, next we're going to go to the helmet. Now this is very important. You need, along with the shards, you need the elemental charge. Become charged with light by picking up an elemental well. If the elemental well's element type matches your subclass, you gain 2 stacks of charged with light. Now we will be constantly creating charge. They're going to be stasis wells. So every time we collect just 1, we're going to get 2 stacks. Now without any other stacks, like stacks on stacks, any other mods that can increase the amount, we won't have any of those. So the most charged with lights that we can carry is 2. So we will constantly, pretty much nearly 99% of the time, we will always have 2 stacks of charged light as long as we keep collecting shards. So very, very awesome. The reason why we want to do that is because of my firepower mods, which will be on my next, my last 3 gear pieces, which I'll show you here in a second. Alright, next we'll move to my chest armor, and you can see here is the firepower mod I was talking about. After using the elemental shards and the elemental charge, after using those 2 mods, I only have 3 more mod slots available for that last slot. I put firepower in all 3. These do stack. You get a 15% buff each time. So every time I use my grenade, 15% grenade ability per copy. So we get a total of 45%. So you do not have to hit an enemy. All you have to do is just use your grenade. So if you have with my gloves, if you have a full charge of 2 and you throw 2 cold snap or 2 turrets, you're going to get 90% back right away. You do not physically have to hit the enemy with your grenade. You only have to use it. So when you throw your turret down, you don't have to throw it at the enemy. You can throw it at a spot which will be convenient for everyone. And what I mean by that is, I don't like it when people throw turrets in front of everyone and it's blocking your view. I've even had it where, yeah, if you're shooting your grenade launcher or a rocket launcher and that turret's in front of you, it will blow up in your face and kill you. So I always try to throw my turrets off to the side. That way it will hit the enemies and not block our line of fire. Anyways, 3 mods. 45% faster, huge. All right, let's move over to leg armor. Of course, it's solar, so I can have that other firepower mod there. For the middle two, these do stack. That's why I got 2 copies of them, and this is Innervation. So reduce grenade cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. So having 1 copy, I'm going to get 12% of my grenade energy back right away. Having that second copy, it's going to bump it up another 6%, so that would be a total of 18%. All right, that's leg armor. Let's get to the last part, which is going to be the bond. All right, my bond, of course, it is solar, so I can have my 3rd and last firepower mod. And then in the middle 2 slots there, again, these 2 mods do stack. These are bomber mods. Now, depending what class you're playing, bomber mods will actually affect you differently. So, example, if I had only 1 on there, Hunters, when you use your class ability, I've never played Hunter, I don't know what your class ability is. Warlock, when we throw our healing rift down, that's our class ability, we get 25% of our grenade ability back. Hunters will get 14% back. Titans will get 16. So we get the highest buff off this. Having that second copy, we only get an additional 5%. This is according to the spreadsheet that I linked in the description below, if you want to check that out. But we'll get a total of 30% back. Since the second copy only gives you an additional 5, if you want to switch that out for something else, you're more than welcome to. As I said earlier, this build, it's all about the turrets, baby. So I want to get them back as soon as possible. I'm throwing that second one in there. Yes, it's only 5%, but hey, that's an additional 5%. All right, I'm going to hop off the mic. We're going to go ahead and finish out the video with the gameplay. This will be Master Wellspring. I hope you enjoy, and I hope to see you in my next video.
The Scorn returned to the Wellspring with a vengeance. Beat them back, Guardian.
The Scorn are ravaging the Wellspring. We better hold our ground. More Scorn ahead. This is far from over. Destroying those crutches is definitely weakening the score. Keep at it. Guardian down. Guardian down. Guardian down. We've really ticked off the scorn this time. They're sending their best. After him. score.
Oh, look at you, always so reliable. I love it. Keep it up, hero.